and Port Harcourt. Other offices are in Dubai, the UK, United Kingdom, the United States of America, and the company plans to extend operations to other African countries like Ghana, Rwanda, and Uganda. Dr. Akintayo real estate firm has a plan to build 25,000 green and smart homes with golf courses, polo clubs, malls, hotels, hospitals, schools, and universities across Africa by the year 2035, and control another set of 25,000 houses with a total real estate asset worth $40 billion by the year 2035. Dr. Stephen Akintayo is also the host of the Global Property Brokers Conference, the largest brokers conference in Africa, now named as Global Wealth Festival. Several renowned speakers like Grant Cardone, Ryan Serhant, and Dr. John Maxwell and others have been brought on the platform. Dr. Akintayo has hosted some of the world's most renowned speakers on his platforms like Robert Kiyosaki, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Don Locke, Toby and Tomi Arayomi, Toby Adegboyega, and several others. He's the host of the investment chart in a Rolls Royce, which teaches people on different investment opportunities around the globe. Learning Luxury Show, a show that educates on benefits of owning luxury and monetizing it. A big show, the big talk show aimed at enlightening youth and the general public on election-related issues in order to build the new Nigeria. He's also the host of Billionaire Habits podcast, Burj Khalifa series in Dubai. You can watch them at Billionaire Habits podcast. Dr. Stephen is also the author of 43 books. His latest are The Billionaire Habits for Pastors, Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs, and Becoming a Billionaire Land Banker. All his books can be gotten at Dr. Stephen's Books. To book him for speaking engagements, send an email to his email address ea@stephenakintayo.com and contact +234 81 8000616 for more inquiries. Right. So, right now I've got the honor to introduce the personality himself, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Can you please welcome him?
Thank you very much for having me. Can you help me celebrate Mrs. Omolara? Come on, guys, give it up for her. She has been so helpful. She reached out to my friend and said, I need to event organizing. I would love to volunteer. And she was very helpful in even securing the venue for us. And, I've been doing a couple of runners. So can you help me better clap for her? It's a free event. I don't like doing free events. For me, when I do free event, people come late. I don't do lateness. 11 is 11, right? I don't do 11 or 10, 11, all this African time doesn't work by me. And I think people who understand wealth creation, the whole concept of being wealthy is a function of trust people have in you. Does that make sense? When they say someone is rich, it's not his money. It's that people trust him enough and give him their money. Does that make sense at all? And he's able to use their money to expand whatever he or she is doing. Now, if people don't trust him or her to keep to his words, to do things on time, to do things promptly, they will not do it. They have other choice. They would rather give that money to somebody else they think, this person will keep to their words. I hope this makes sense at all. Yeah. So that's why we're not doing African time, we're starting right away. We have almost 100 people registered, but time is time. If they come late, you can be generous enough to teach them what you are. And charge them as well. So I want to thank everyone for coming. I think it speaks to the fact that you're hungry for success. My argument has always been that why are a lot of Africans not as wealthy as we should be? Why are we at the receiving end of things? Why is it that we complain, people don't give us job, we complain racism, we keep complaining about everything? Why? And one of the simple answers I discovered was that, number one, you can never end racism until you end poverty among black people. I've employed several white people, right? And guess what? None of them have been able to play racism card with me. Some of them have even had to come to Nigeria, right? Because, I mean, it's the rule. Our group CEO was on Rice TV yesterday. I was telling them when he got the job, how he was skeptical. Oh, Nigeria. In fact, he had to Google Nigeria. And what he saw was warnings, you know. So his own family is based in Germany, then he works from Dubai. So all he was saying is British warning, advisory, US warning, don't go there. And then we insisted, if you're going to get this job, right, we're paying you in dollars, we're paying a lot of money. You have to know where the money is coming from. I don't know how you understand what I'm saying. You can't be collecting fat salary as a group CEO, and then you sit there in Dubai office, and no, you have to come to where. So he came. If I remember he came through the Abuja airport. He met me, I was visiting site, I said, bring him to site. So when he came to site, I said, now we're going to kidnap you. You know, I started laughing. Like, Nigeria isn't that unsafe, like, you know. And I remember I kept saying, why can't you people protest this negativity that they put out there? Right? Because it's not that unsafe. And every estate we had, whether in Port Harcourt, whether in Asaba, I made sure he went there. Whether the estate is far, of course we provide security, but he should go. Because leadership for me is that you have to be at the forefront of what you do. But why did I give that example? I have never faced racism for anybody that I pay. Right? Once you are wealthy, it's difficult for anybody to be a racist to you. So what am I saying? If we end poverty among black people, then the story change. Is this making sense at all? Yeah. Oftentimes people say black is synonymous to crime, to violence, to name it. Why are they seeing us that way? We don't have many people of your skin color, right, in the position of Bill Gates. Is this making sense at all? Yes. The perception is that black people are not brilliant. That's the perception. Am I making sense at all? Yes. But why are they seeing that way? Because again, we haven't positioned our own people who are scientists, who are intelligent, support their skill till the world respects it. What have we always done? We demonstrate the skill, we're happy at the crumbs they give us, but we don't think ownership. We don't think business. We don't think, how do I own it? Are we learning at all? When I started traveling, I remember I would visit different countries, and what came to my mind was not how to leave Nigeria and jack back. What came to my mind was not to look for a good job. What came to my mind is, how do I own? How do I own? How do I own? And I've come here today, and I hope I achieve my goal, to brainwash you. To change your mindset from how you see things, from the concepts that many of us grew up with. Get a job, get another degree so that you can get a bigger job, and then you continue the rat race. Today, in US alone, we have one project we're building now, 40 acre, but the main one we're working on now, 19 acre, right? We're putting in over $30 million, and when completed, it will be valued at $82 million. Because somebody decided to believe it can be done. And before you know it, the Congress people, TV stations are hosting us, right? And they didn't care the color of the skin. Because you are not just adding value to America, you are providing jobs. You are adding to the economy. Are we learning at all?
Yes.
So, I'm saying this to tell you why I'm here. I'm here to spark a new movement that people of color believe they can be wealthy. You can own hotels in these places. Those who own it don't have two heads. They don't have two heads. Is it going to be easy? No. Where I've come from, has it been easy? No. Started my business 16 years ago. Month of May, make it 16. We're a bulk SMS web company. We started 1,000 Nigerian naira, then it was $10 then. Right? And gradually, we added email. We added other things. We added digital marketing. And 2015, we've ventured into developing properties. Today, we're one of the largest real estate developers in Nigeria. And we're big in Dubai. In fact, we became the largest black-owned brokerage in Dubai under 1 year. Right? Our expansion in the US is really amazing. So it's important to know it can be done. For me, what I'm doing is to teach what I'm doing. And as many who are interested, maybe some will take advantage of it. Those who are not, it's okay. It's not all of us that have to be rich. Also, let me say a big thank you. One of my friends went to school, he's here. I didn't know how he found his way to Glasgow. He just chatted me up. Mr. Dipo, how you doing?
I'm good.
Right. So you came from Edinburgh, right? Did you go for Taylor Swift's? You didn't go.
No.
What happened? You are grinding. I heard people are queuing even this morning for our event. That woman's movement is crazy, right? Also, let me celebrate my friend who actually brought me here. Even this event would not have happened if not for him. So he insisted I should come and visit him. We used to be in Dubai together, and if Isha said, come to Glasgow. So I was a bit reluctant. Later we fixed it. They said, but a lot of people of color in Glasgow, why not do training? I said, look, I'm not, you say I should come and visit you, I'm coming. But training, Isha is sister. So please clap for Mr. Victor Aribi. Mr. Victor, we are clapping for you. We are still outside. Please sit down. You guys should come in and sit down. We've started. As you know me, I improvise. So don't stress yourself. What matters is the event. Don't stress yourself.
1 minute.
Don't stress yourself. Please clap for him again. At least he brought me here. So basically, he just bought a multi-million dollar, million pounds, or what do you mean spending? Pounds.
Yeah.
House, and then got a Rolls Royce, and said I should come and celebrate. That's why I came. Okay, but insisted we should also do some training. I said, why not? Let's add value to the people. Make sense? Yeah. So are we ready? So I'm going to be doing sharing from 6 of my books. I've written over 40 books. So I'll give two points under each book, and then we ask questions, and then we're done for today. Does that make sense? Yeah. Are we okay?
Yes.
Are we sure? Thank you. You're not sure. Are we sure? Okay. Good. By the way, can we say hello to our online audience? We also have a huge number of people joining us online. Say hello. So that's Glasgow. Okay. So I'll start with the book called The Billionaire Habits. So at some point, I got curious about the lifestyle of billionaires and extremely wealthy people. And I got curious when I made up my mind I wanted to be one as well. And so I started reading about them, started reading books. In fact, from 2016, I vowed that I'm not going to attend any seminar except a billionaire is talking. Right? And I remember I attended my first seminar in Florida. There were about 3 billionaires in dollars who spoke at that event. And it was a life-changing experience for me. Because for the first time I saw that it was possible. Right? And when some of these people share their stories how they moved from nothing to where they were. I said, I mean, they don't have two heads. What's it we can do? Okay? And so I started my own journey as well. And before you say Jack Robinson, our assets in Nigeria started running to billions of naira. Today we do transactions in billions of naira and hundreds of millions of dollars. And we intend to hit billions of dollars as well. Make sense? So, but what are the habits? Because it's not about the money. You see, money answers to value. Okay? And money in itself does little. How much money do you and I need? Right? So, it's not about the money, it's about the habits. I was being interviewed in Ghana, and they were asking me about, money and all of that. And I remember saying to the interviewer, I said, I don't see wealth from the angle of how many billions, how many this. I see it from how many jobs are we creating, how many lives are changing, right? How many impact are we making? How many people are we adding value to? Every month in our organization, we're having to pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars to investors. Those investors will use that money to take care of family, to take care of other things. So you can see the ripple effect. Is this making sense at all? Mm-hmm. So when we say money, a lot of times people see from the angle of there is no billionaire in this world that has billions stashed in their account, including Elon Musk. If he did, he wouldn't need to sell Tesla shares. I don't know if you know how he paid for Twitter. We wouldn't remember. Or now X. Come on, are we here? Yes. I need response. I don't know if you remember how Elon Musk paid for Twitter. Yeah. Right? He sold some of the Twitter shares, Tesla shares, to raise the money, right? Yeah. He also borrowed money from the bank. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, why did they say the man was worth $200 billion, yet he could not provide $44 billion? Have you ever thought of it? Right? Because that $200 billion is not like the money just sit there in his account. They were calculating that if we sell the shares of Tesla and all the companies that this guy owns, are we together now? What will they be what? What will they be what? And that is how they arrive at what? Elon Musk's valuation. And that's why sometimes you hear, Elon Musk was number 1, now he's number 3. Right? Because once the share price drops, right, his money also what? Drops. And that's why even oftentimes, some of the people you call wealthy, there are other people who are way wealthier than them. And why? They didn't put their business in the what? Stock exchange. Because typically when Forbes analyze your money, they're usually trying to analyze it based on the man has also number of shares. When we sell the shares as of today, what is he what? What is it what? Are we learning at all? Yeah. So first of all, see the concept of being wealthy, whether you want to be a millionaire or want to be a billionaire, from the angle of what you can do, the good things you can do with money. In celebration of our 16th year anniversary, we went to Ibejileke and Ikorodu and we fed widows and families. Almost 1,000 people were fed.
Yeah, I saw that online.
You saw that? Yeah. And the one that touched me most was one woman who started crying and said, is it my son or daughter just died? Daughter. Yes. Right? Just died. And here's the son. We're not even sure what we'll eat. We didn't know if people would come. In fact, I remember our group CEO said, because they arrived before the truck of food arrived. So they started grumbling because there was a delay. So you see, all these politicians, they've come again. They said they'll give us food. And they've come to lie to us. Where's the food now? So now I had to even explain. First of all, we're not politicians, right? We're a company and we're trying to add value. And the woman was shocked. In fact, when she was now saying she doesn't even know how the daughter's son will go to school, I just told the CEO, I said, to whatever level that guy wants to school, I will pay by the grace of God. Whether he wants to do PhD from that age. But ladies and gentlemen, 2 poor people cannot help themselves. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. One has to rise to the top before he can throw the rope to help another. If I were a poor man, no matter how emotionally touched I was about that woman's story, that she lost her daughter, now she's with her grandson, There was even no food except for the food we brought. And there's no way for that son to go to school. No matter how touched I was, if I was a poor man, I can't help. So I have another quote. If you really care about poor people, become rich so that you can help them. So this whole concept, and that's the first thing I want to change about our mindset. People of color hate rich people, yet we also hate poverty. So isn't this a dilemma? Are we together now? When a typical person of color sees a rich man, what comes to your mind? Even on social media, a lot of times because I dress this way, you just say, are they not the one destroying Nigeria? Are they not the one? You just see comments. I'm like, first of all, I'm not a politician. You know, the fact that I dress, you know, in Babariga or whatever, I've never done politics in my life. I've never taken government contract in my life. But you could see the assumption. Just, you see that? You see that? So, that's the first thing that needs to change from our mindset. That you can be rich and be good. You can be wealthy and be godly. If you are, let me give you a practical example. Somebody called me 2 days ago, a woman, said her husband used to do real estate and that he had just paralyzed her husband. They are based in Dubai and they've been owing house rent to the tune of $20,000. And in Dubai, if you are owing money and they take you to court and you can't pay, they will throw you in jail. So he said the landlord has threatened to take them to court and throw them in jail. Right? And then said, but what you need to do right now, based on what you're going through, is to come back to Nigeria. Right? Because you're obviously going through a lot of stress, you know, only for her to say, I don't even have my passport. I said, what happened to your passport? Said the former landlord were owing another $7,000. Then I had to use my passport as collateral. I said, this your case is obviously what? A very, very complicated one. I mean, guys, is it not complicated? Extremely complicated. Okay, how about your children? Because our first son is of age. If we can't put it on, let's not bother. Right? We need to talk to them at reception. Right? They need to do it. Okay? Because I don't want to lose my line of thought. What was I saying before I started this story?
The son. And the passports.
Yeah, but before that story, there was a reason why I shared that story. What was the conversation before the story?
You need to break poverty by becoming rich.
We know. Okay. So, what I would say is that if you care about poor people, right? You need to be rich so you can what? Help them. And then I moved on to say, you can be wealthy and godly and good and nice and caring. Because money is neutral. Money is neither good or bad. Money takes the character of the possessor. So if you're a bad person, when you have more money, you become more bad. When you're a good person, when you have more money, you become more what? Good. Now, where I was going with that story is that it's difficult to really be truthful when you're poor. I'm not making sense at all. Because I asked the woman, I said, okay, how about your son? So that one too is owing another $25,000 in school. Okay? But where am I going with this? Will this woman lie away to get money? True or false? Yes, you are saying no. Her husband is paralyzed. They are going to throw her in jail if you can't raise another. Her son is owing. She has 1 week to be out of jail. Will she lie to get out of this? True or false? Absolutely. True. And what am I trying to say there? Is more difficult, are we together now, to be truthful, to live the right kind of life in poverty. I normally have this joke with my wife. My wife is a very amazing woman, very humble and very caring and nice. And here is my joke with my wife. I always say to her, I will truly know you are humble the day you, not your husband, become a billionaire in this summer. Because money truly shows your character. I'm not making sense at all. You know, some people are humble because poverty made them so. Have you met someone who was the nicest, humble person only for them to become rich? And you're seeing a different version. Come on, talk to me.
No.
Huh? Or become famous, or get political power. And then they become so brutal, and you're wondering, who is this person? I thought this person is this. Are we learning at all? So, your true character is revealed when you're wealthy. Is this making sense at all? Yeah. So, money is not the problem. Money is not the problem. In fact, lack of money is really camouflaging who you really are. You don't really know yourself until you're wealthy. Somebody said, until you can finance sin, that's when you know whether you're righteous. You understand what I'm talking about? Eh? Some people, so they need to help us with the audio.
Alright.
We need to find out
The remotes are just like that.
whether the remote will help. Right? You don't know whether you are really holy, all this holiness we always preach and talk about, until you can finance sin. You have enough money to finance it. Men, am I talking? A lot of men will tell you, oh, I'm faithful to my wife. We really don't know whether you have second wife or third wife or fourth wife. Or you even divorce your wife and marry another one. Right? Until you really have what? Real money. Okay? So the problem isn't money. In fact, lack of problem is affecting you knowing who you really are and what you can do. Is this making sense at all?
Yeah.
Are we learning?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's just call them. Let's just call them. Because this...
The audio is not...
Yeah, let's just call them.
Thank you.
Because all this still distracts us and affect. Okay. So, let's just pause. Okay. Is this helpful? Talk to me. Is it helpful? Okay. Before I continue, do me a favor. Can we move forward so that others coming is easy for them to just stay at the back and we don't see how people distract us. So let's occupy the seats in front. Okay, somebody's asking online, where can we get my book? All my books are on Amazon, and you can send a DM to this IG or platform, or go to my website. If you send a DM, my team will contact you how you can get it. All my books are also on Amazon, so you can get them there. Okay, so I'm going to start with Billionaire Habits, and the first habits again in this book. The subtitle says the secret billionaires used to build wealth that poor people don't know. And the reason we use the word habit is because your habit determines your decisions, and your decisions determines your destiny. Your current habit is either making you richer or poorer, right? And your next 10 years financially is a function of your financial habits today. Where I am today financially was a function of my financial habits 10 years ago. When I started, for example, investing in real estate, I was still driving a particular Toyota car, and everybody around me thought I was poor, and were even pitying me. But I was acquiring acres, 300 plots, 500 plots. Which was why I couldn't change my car, by the way. Am I making sense at all? Yes. Now today, some of those properties I bought for $250 per plot is now going for $50,000 per plot. And in some places I did 1,000 plots, 2,000 plots, 5,000 plots. Thought you would clap for me. So that's why we say billionaire habits, because the habits that will ultimately determine whether you are rich or you're poor. So our focus has to be on what are the habits I have? What are the habits and how will these habits affect me financially into the future? I'll give another example. Many of us are not realizing that we're already on our way to poverty by the virtue of the fact that you have 3 children, or 4 children, or 5 children, or 6 children. Somebody said, from the day you give birth to your last child, add another 26 years before you can be free. Some say add 21 years, depending on when you are comfortable to release them. Right? One of my friends was sharing this story I will never forget. He was the last child. He said the day I graduated from university was the day my father dropped his registration letter. He said, it's today I now understood the sacrifice he paid. That the man couldn't stop working just because of me. Right? Many of our parents that gave birth to us did not plan to be poor. In fact, when they were your age, some of them were rich. It was as the children were aging. Oh, you don't get what I'm saying now? Right? So many of us are not calculating into the requirement of the future. And that's why you see some people say, no, me, I'm just comfortable, If I can just make 5,000 pounds a month, I'm okay. But that's not nonsense talk. Because guess what? When your children are in college, Amamiki said, even if college is free in Scotland, there are still other requirements. Right? And that 5,000 pounds won't be enough. And the time to plan for that time is now. It's not then. It's not then. So the first habit I will talk about is called result-oriented relationships. Okay? By the way, there are pen and notepad there. So if you want to jot things down, fine. Also, at the end of the day, you have opportunity to also buy the book and I'll be signing them for you. Right? Result what? Oriented relationship. This is in chapter 2 of the book. What is a result-oriented relationship? It's a relationship that is built on principle of goal attainment. Now, let me put it this way. The reason many people are poor is because of their friendship, their relationship. And I will break it down. When you go to the midst of poor people, 2 poor friends talking, can I tell you what they will be talking? The majority of the conversation. There are other friends that is rude. The story of somebody that took another person's wife, or that is bottom line gossip. True of us. Now, pick another 2 rich friends and just hang around their conversation. The conversation will be about new companies, new business ideas, new opportunities, celebration of what? Of projects or things. I told you how I came here now. My friend just bought a new house, moved from London to Glasgow, isn't it? Bought a Rolls Royce, and it was a, hey, let's come and celebrate. And then while we were talking, he said, you are the real estate guy. We can do some things in Glasgow. I said, well, I have a few ideas about real estate in the UK. And part of our stay, we'll play golf, we'll discuss how me and him will probably start another real estate empire in Glasgow. You see the difference? Meanwhile, another 2 sets of people, what's the conversation? Is to gossip. Mama, Chukura. Did you hear what happened? Alright? Or use it to vent about your political leaders in Africa. Did you hear what the president? And then give yourself high blood pressure. Over something you don't even have power to change. So the first secret of being a billionaire in terms of habits is that you have friends that their goals, their projects, their things we want to achieve. We have conversation about where we want to be. We talk about our businesses and what we are doing and what we're achieving. That's the difference. So, many of you need to take a note and then look at which friend always gets me to gossip. Who knows what I'm talking about? You know, there are some people you can't be around them without discussing something that does not add value to both of you. And you can say, this one's out. Who amongst my friends challenge me to be more? Come on, talk to me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Who among my friends gets me to talk about bigger goals, bigger dreams, what we can do together, the world we want to see together, where we want to conquer, the projects we want to do, and then begin to. Now, if you don't have them, go and look for them. I say this: two poor people can't help themselves. Don't ever forget it. I have one of the quotes I always share, and this is very powerful. Never forget it. Two P's you cannot afford to have: poverty and pride. Yeah. You cannot afford to be poor and proud at the same time. One of the things I did when I knew I was not yet rich and I wanted to be rich, and then I need to have rich friends to be rich, was to go and meet rich friends. Some I met at golf courses. Some I met in church. Now, guess what? They were not interested in me. That was my first crisis. Who knows what I'm talking about? Right? I'm interested in them, but they are not what? Interested in me. And of course, why should they be interested? What do I have? What am I bringing to the table? What do I have to offer? So I then started the first research, and if you can do it, it will change your life. How to attract a wealthy person? Yes.
In that instance, sorry, so can I ask, what about your environment? Like, for instance, Glasgow or like parts of Scotland, compare it to England, it's very hard to sort of meet people that are on that same network, on that same level, just because of that environment. So what would you suggest for that environment?
Yeah, so what I'm saying will answer that, which is simply, first of all, what can I offer a wealthy person? Oftentimes, the mistake we make is that we think that it's all about money. I think that's the first mistake. Mm-hmm. And we think that because people are rich, they don't have a need. I don't know that you understand what I'm saying. And that is totally wrong. Everybody needs something. And what I've noticed is that those who have more money, usually, their needs in the hands of poor people. Those who are poor, their needs are in the hands of rich people. And God knows why He designed it that way. Right? Sometimes it's just somebody to say kind words. Sometimes it's just somebody to give a fresh perspective. Sometimes it's just, somebody to... I give a practical one. And if you get this, it will solve the problem. Number one, to answer your question directly, how do I meet them? Go to where they are. Example, learn how to play golf. So one of the things I had, so the audio, we couldn't hear the audio from the projector. Right? So one of the things I had to do was to start learning how to play golf. How do you play golf here?
Can we come out of that?
Right? None of you. So assignment number one, you write it down. Go and learn how to play golf. There are a lot of golf courses here in Glasgow and the whole of Scotland. Go. Right? Yes, the game is expensive. Right? I don't know how much it is here. It could cost you £100 to play a game. Right? But, I think you can go to the driving range. It could be cheaper. So there's something called the driving range. That could be cheaper. But that's the first
step. Automatic.
Right? Go to where rich people like to go. Right? For me, I had to learn it. It was hard and it's difficult. I hope I'm answering you, but golf is just one. But there are other things, right? Other ways to meet wealthy people. One of it is just to work on your character. My wife met a man in Nigeria who has been doing over $20 billion in transaction every year in over 12 years at the embassy, British embassy. She was trying to get her passport. But she was just quite nice. I think she saw some elderly people who were standing and she was sitting. And she stood up. I said, they should sit there. And then went to the queue. Now, the people she was now in front of, those ones saying, how would I do that they want to sit down? Why? Because the person is also
Dr. Stephen
older. He's
is
about
Africa's most
60.
influential investment
I
coach.
think he's about 65. So I was wondering why.
To do it, I'm afraid. I do work in the restaurant. Maybe with the old enough for us.
Okay, that's fine. So can we just use other pages instead? The audio is not coming out, but we can always use
The audio is not coming.
Yeah. But the
Well,
others,
play it, let's see. Can you guys hear this?
it's actually audible.
Because it seems...
Dr. Stephen Akinteo
Can you
is
hear
Africa's
this?
most influential investment coach. He is a member of the Forbes Business Council and a recipient of several prestigious awards, including the Forbes Best of Africa, Leading Investment Coach and Real Estate Mogul by Forbes Best of Africa Award. He is the chairman of G-Text Holdings and the founder of Stephen Akinteo Foundation. G-Text Holdings is the mother. Dr. Stephen Akinteo is Africa's most influential investment coach. He is a member of...
Sorry, excuse.
Can someone help us here who knows how to use? Just come. You know.
Just want to drag. This can be. I'm trying to maximize the picture. It's not.
Let's move it to the center. That's the center.
Screen touch?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not sure it's screen touch.
Is it touch here? It's not just reading itself.
It's not.
I maximized it before. It's just.
Where's Mr. Victor?
He should be here. He went to get the other books.
The books?
Yeah. No, it didn't work out. You just need to drag it. Yes. I don't know why it's not dragging.
Okay, we'll just manage it that way.
Let's do what we have to do.
Dr. Stephen Akinteo is Africa's most influential
But
investment
can we
coach.
see it to her?
He is a member of the Forbes Business Council.
Can we see the screen?
Prestigious awards, including the Forbes Best of Africa, Leading Investment Coach and Real Estate Mogul by Forbes Best of Africa Award. He is the chairman of G-Text Holdings and the founder of Stephen Akinteo Foundation. G-Text Holdings is the mother company of 11 subsidiaries with a highly innovative and young workforce. These subsidiaries include G-Text Homes, G-Text Land, Stephen Akinteo Foundation, G-Vest, G-Text Farms, G-Text and Associates, G-Text Academy, G-Text Soft, G-Text Hub. G-Text Holdings has several branches in Nigeria, which include Lagos State, Ibadan, Abeokuta, Asaba, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Other offices are in Dubai, the UK, and the US, and the company plans to extend operations to other African countries like Ghana, Rwanda, and Uganda. Dr. Akinteo Real Estate Firm has a plan to build 25,000 green and smart homes with golf courses, polo clubs, mall, hotel, hospitals, schools, and universities across Africa by the year 2035, and control another set of 25,000 properties outside of Africa, with a total real estate asset worth $40 billion by the year 2035. Dr. Stephen Akinteo is also the host of the Global Property Brokers Conference, the largest brokers conference in Africa. Now renamed the Global Wealth Festival, several renowned speakers like Grant Cardone, Ryan Serhant, Dr. John Maxwell, and others have been brought on the platform. Dr. Akinteo has hosted some of the world's most renowned speakers on his platforms like Robert Kiyosaki, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Dan Locke, Toby and Tomi Arayomi, Toby Adegboyega, and several others. He is the host of the Investment Chat in a Rolls-Royce, which teaches people about different investment opportunities around the globe. Learning Luxury Show, a show that educates on the benefits of owning luxury and monetizing it, and Big Talk Show, aimed at enlightening youths and the general public on election-related issues in order to build the new Nigeria. He is also the host of the Billionaire Habits podcast. Burj Khalifa series in Dubai. You can watch them on the Billionaire Habits podcast. Dr. Stephen is also the author of 42 books. His latest are The Billionaire Habits for Pastors, Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs, and Becoming a Billionaire Land Banker. All his books can be found in Dr. Stephen's books. To book him for speaking engagements, email egstephenakinteo.com and contact the number on your screen for more inquiries.
Thank you very much.
Dr.
So we just finished our Ghana leadership retreat, and then the next one is Sierra Leone. Up Sierra Leone, and you guys are looking. All right, so we're having an event in Sierra Leone, and then Cameroon, then Sierra Leone, in the course of the year. This is my latest article on Forbes. It's called How Mindset Can Influence Financial and Business Decisions. Okay, so you can read it on the link there for those who are not on the platform. So I'm just showing clips of the 16th anniversary. It was our community outreach. We also gave out 16 million naira to support small business owners. So we have this entire fund where we support small businesses to help expand their business. Okay?
The audacity, the strength, the confidence. And usually, lion is also very scared and timid, because these younger ones. But they are very brave. In spite of their fear, in fact, they attack what they fear. That's part of their instinct. That's what we learn, too. Number one, it's important to know that you don't hold their tail except they're standing, okay? The lion is believed to be the king of the jungle. But one of their biggest secrets is they live in what we call the lion pride. The lion pride has been one of the strengths of... Okay, guys, so is a loose. How do I hold it loose and firm? How do I hold it loose?
So how many of you can do this? we blacks don't play, okay? But what's the lesson here, can anybody? Because there's a reason for anything you see me post, there's a lesson in it. What's the lesson?
Bravery?
Bravery, yes. But what type of bravery?
Confront your fears. Facing your fears.
Do you think I wasn't afraid? Right? I was afraid, but I did it despite being afraid. Right? And that is really how to build wealth. A lot of time people look at me and say, Dr. Stephen, you take so much risk, you invest in businesses. Are you not afraid? What if you lose the money? Yes, I'm afraid. Okay? But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in spite of your what? Your fears. Are we learning at all now? Because if you are never, and this is part of the reasons why when you look at it, many of our people have not been able to build wealth. It takes courage. Because yes, you can lose money. Yes, you can fail. It's the reason why we are here to produce scientists who go to the moon and are back. Because the parents themselves will shout the child down. Ah, do you want to kill yourself? And I'm saying that if we're serious about building wealth, we have to begin the culture of what? Taking risk. Are we learning here? So, we're still on billionaire habits. Number one, I've shared earlier, is what? Positive what? Goal-oriented relationships. Because you are always going to be the average of the 5 closest people to you. If I ask many of you now, what is in your bank account right now? Right? Then I ask you to contact 5 closest people to you. I promise you it's the average of what they have to. Try it. You can try it today. Check your account. What's in your account? Then call average 5 closest people to you. And you see it's the same. I was sharing with somebody recently and he was telling me, we're doing, he said at some point we're doing $600,000 every month as a company. You know, and you know the funny thing, that same year, that was the range we were doing to. Say, this thing is strange. Right? You are average of the closest people to you. So when you are serious about saying, yes, I want to build wealth, you don't have to be intentional. I'm not asking you to I don't discriminate. Whether you are rich or poor, I don't. But the people me I will go and meet to say, I want to be your friend. Right? For me, they had to be rich people. And it helped me to move up from poverty. Are we learning at all? Number 2 is mindset, though it's supposed to be number 1 here. I mean, it's number 1 when I shared it, but it's number 2 here. So it's number 1 here. Mindset and what? Vision. Everybody shall think big.
Think big.
Right? You see, you can never go farther than what you see. When I talk to people, I don't need to know whether you have, I don't need to see your bank account. I know who is rich and who is poor. How do I know? The way they talk. The way they talk. A poor man will say, I can't afford it. A rich man will say, how can I afford it? From the way people talk, I can predict who you are. I can predict. Even if I now made a mistake, you are not yet rich. Let's give you 2-3 years, you'll be rich. Because you're already in that mental frame. It's from what you see. What do you see about yourself? Financially. What do you see about your family? What do you see about your future? Even my children. I remember my second son went to visit one of our family friends. And they were playing and broke the glasses of that one's grandmother. And they started shouting. He said, how much is it? My father will pay. Okay? But you can see how even as children, their mentality is that we are not poor people. And that's how wealth begins. It's how you see yourself. Thank God somebody that did me from Musu is here. I started talking big. I was noticing that face as well. Eh? Bishop Judas.
Yes, please.
You see, it's a small word. So if someone is lying, people will catch him. Right? They can tell you from university days, my mouth had been big. I don't always talk, I'm going far. They are not surprised. So people are known me. Those who are surprised about my success are those who are just meeting me. I had been talking about it when I had faded clothes. So you can't see a great tomorrow and talk small about yourself. From your words, I can predict your future. It begins with a vision. Where are you going? What do you see of your future? Forget money. And here's an assignment number 2. We're giving an assignment like play. I hope you are noting it. Yeah. And you better do it. Assignment number 2. Ask yourself, if money is not my problem, where will I want to be in the next 1 year from now? In the next 5 years from now? In the next 10 years from now? I did a 50-year goal plan. I'm in the 16th year. Where I'm going to be 50 years from now, I wrote it down 16 years ago. I'm just playing a script. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people say, you are so audacious. Yes, it's because if you plan a 50-year goal plan, 5 years later, you surpass it. 10 years later, you surpass it. So won't you see yourself as a prophet? Talk to me now. If you are in my shoes. Right? I'm touching some things I put in my 20-year goal plan now. So you live life with some level of audacity and boldness. And can you do the same? Yes. Oh, you will say maybe I'm lucky. Hear this. I did a podcast with one of my mentors. I don't know if you know Dr. Cosmos Magical. Right? 3 weeks ago. Can I shock you? The same thing is what Dr. Cosmos Magical said. He said, I was 14 years of age and I wrote a plan. By 20, I want to move to my house. By, is it 22? I want to get married. You remember? By 25, I want to be a millionaire. In dollars, and in their days, I think Naira was even stronger than dollar. And he said everything came, he did it at 14. Everything came to pass like he prophesied, except for the children. He said I think he said by 22 he wanted to have his first son. He didn't even say child, son. He was direct what he wanted. He said, but he married at 20, his wife was 19. God knew that 2 children should not be making babies. So he didn't have his first son, I think, until he was 26 or something. Right? And he said he thanked God later because they were too young to start having children. Right? Are we learning at all? This thing works. Yes.
Can I hold your camera and flip it, please?
Oh, okay, why not if you want to? Thank you, I appreciate that.
It's on. Thank you.
Okay? So, being great in life financially begins with a vision. You can't go farther than what you see. What do you see? If I ask each of you now, what do you see? And please write it as I'm number 2, don't forget. Say to yourself, if money is not the problem, what do I want? Where do I want to be? What are the houses I want to own? What are the businesses? And that's how I did my 50-year goal plan. I said to myself, if money is not my problem, where will I want to be? That is where the journey starts from. And that's what we call it the billionaire what? Habits. It's about the habits that you pick up. It's about the habits of wealthy people. And one of those big habits I've heard it from everyone, including people who become president, that the first thing was that they saw it. It's called law of attraction. You are attracting to your life people, situations, circumstances that correlate with your dominant thoughts. Is this making sense at all? Let me say it again. Law of attraction says you are attracting to your life people, situations, circumstances that correlate with your what? Dominant thoughts. So if your dominant thought says, I am going to be this wealthy, it's going to happen. Some of you are surprised I put in my profile when we played it, right? That by the year 2035, we want to control $40 billion worth of real estate assets. That's how I do it. I say things ahead of time. Now, at the end of the day, let's say 2035 come. I didn't do 40, I did 10. Will you more? You see the power of dreaming. Because if I have this quote, and you can write it, that says, dream so big that failure will be success. And that's my principle. Dream so what? Big. So big that what? Failure. What you consider failure will be success. Today, people really admire and say, I'm so, in my mind, I'm behind time. But because the dream is way what? Bigger, isn't it? Yeah. Than where I am. But imagine I've dreamt smaller. What will have happened again? What I will have achieved will have been what? Smaller. So always dream so big. So that failure itself, when you even fail in that big dream, you will have still been successful. Is this making sense at all? Are we sure? Are we going to do it? Yeah. Glasgow, talk to me. Are we doing it?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure? Yes. You know, my friend says he wants to raise millionaires and billionaires in Glasgow. That's why he invited me. So, will you make his dream come to pass? Yes. Eh? Yes. Come on, talk to me. Yes. Yes. Is he not a kind man? Yes. Right? Somebody is successful, and one of his friends is also coming and say, no, let him train the people in my city. So can we clap for Mr. Victor? I call him the Apollo of Glasgow. Because I'm here courtesy him, honestly. I don't know you people. Except for a few people I'm bumping into that I know. Right? If he didn't, make sure I'm doing this, I won't do it. So I'm doing it to fulfill all righteousness. Yeah, so that should be. Amen. Okay, number 2 book we're reviewing today. Can we want to know? Come on.
Opportunities
And this is under the second book called The Billionaire Codes. And I have this quote under it. It says, by the way, this is a powerful book endorsed by Brian Tracy, endorsed by John Maxwell, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Richard Poor. Damian John, the founder of FUBU, Les Brown, some of you have heard of this. All of them said good things about this book. Now, I have a quote that says, you are only as rich as the level of risk you've taken. In fact, the way I put it is this: your current bank account is a function of the risk you took yesterday. If you don't like what's in your bank account, increase your risk level, and I promise you tomorrow you like what's in your account. Am I making sense at all? Let me put it simply. Fear and poverty are twins. Risk and wealth are twins. Okay? You wonder why a lot of people from where we come from are not as rich as we want them to. They are not taking risks.
Yeah.
How many of you have mocked even family members that did business and failed? Is that how they do it in America? America celebrates people trying big things. Elon Musk failed at Tesla. You know what happened? The US government bailed him out. Or you didn't know that Trump government bailed out Tesla? It was about going on. Right? And that's why today we love those countries, we love the innovation, we love the invention, but we are not ready to pay the sacrifices that was paid. Which is that failure and success, I tell people, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. In the street called success, there is failure boulevard. You cannot succeed without failing. People look at us and they admire. Did they know how many businesses we've tried that failed? Did they know how many things we've tried that didn't work? It's the one that worked that everybody is talking about. Am I making sense at all? Okay, I'm telling you about land I bought for $250 that is worth $50,000. How about the one that I can't go there till tomorrow? Because they even keep people on the land. Am I making sense at all? We did this in Dubai. How about the Dubai one that didn't work? Am I making sense? So you hating risk is you hating wealth. If you're going to be wealthy, you have to understand that I have to be willing and open to take risk. It's as simple as ABC. Some investment will work out, some will work out. Some will say, well, how do I mitigate the risk? Then get a mentor, then get training, then come for meetings like this. Because when you have people who have done it before you, right, they will guide you. They will tell you, these things are about to fail. Things are about to do. They can predict pattern. Success leaves clue. Some people are saying to me, they'll say, why are you expanding in US when the interest rate is too high? Because in America, the project we're working on now, we're building 60 units. I will show you the 3D video. 60 units, single family home, 4 and 5 bedroom. When we are done completing it, one will be $600,000. The other will be $1 million, the high-end version of it. Now, we're going to be putting in almost $40 million, $30-something million on the entire project, right, to complete it. And like I said, the valuation will be worth $82 million when we're done. But guess what? I am doing it at a time I will have to take loan because I'm bringing 30% and I'm taking loan for the remaining 70%, isn't it? But at this moment, 11.6% is the interest rate I'm paying. Right? Meanwhile, typical interest rates previously was as low as 6%, 7%, maybe 8%. Why am I doing it? Can anybody guess? High interest rate, others are not building again. People are saying, we'll wait till when US economy gets good, then we'll start constructing. Why am I building now? Anyone? we know it's taking risk. Yes, we get it, but why? Why am I taking the risk?
The rates will not come down. The interest rate.
There's a quote, I'm not exactly sure, that you get greedy when others are scared and you get something like that. I think that's the reason.
Yeah, you're on track, right? The secret is simple. When it comes to investment, when they zig, you zag. Always go the opposite direction of the masses, and you'll be rich. And that's the risk. Because the risk is that everybody is saying, don't do it, that's what you are doing. When everybody says do it, that's what is wrong. So what am I doing logically in this case? Right now, most developers have stopped building. So by 2026, a new government will have been in place in America. The government will have stabilized. Guess what will have happened to interest rates? It will have what? Come down, isn't it?
Yeah.
But guess where the problem will be? There will be deficit of new houses in America. The guy who is releasing new houses by 2026, isn't it, will be able to sell at what?
Yeah.
You see the wisdom? Because others are not doing it. So I will make more money by the time I'm selling my house if I decide to build that, if I build when everybody else is also building. Because all of us will be putting our houses into the market, and then what happens? Demand and supply. There will be too much demand, so we won't be able to sell it at a good price. So now I'm intentionally going into site at a time when people are not wanting to build. So by the time I'm done, I'll be one of the few people releasing new houses into the US market. Are we learning here?
Yeah.
But that is taking risk. But guess what? That risk is taken as a result of what? Training and what? Mentorship. No, training and mentorship. Right? I'm a Harvard graduate when it comes to real estate investment. I had to go to Harvard to understand how they do real estate in America. Right? To just understand how it works. Okay? I'm a mentee of Grant Cardone. The guy controls over $5 billion worth of real estate assets in America alone. And I paid him over $250,000 just to know what he knows. One man, not God. I paid. Right? Are we learning here?
Yes.
Are we sure we're learning?
Yes.
So you have to take risk. But how to mitigate the risk is what? Come on, talk to me. Are you here? Mentorship and what? Training. Only those who train will reign. Anybody reigning in their field, they've been trained. So go for training. Get a mentor who is in the same, who understand. I don't get mentors based on they like sweet talk or motivation. What has he done to? Am I making sense at all?
Yes.
Where I come from, they say, over my dash of tolerance. If somebody is going to sew your gown, your fashion wear, you check the one he's wearing. So if you're going to get a mentor when it comes to investment and finance, it has to be someone who is already successful, someone who moved from zero to where they are, right? And you are sure they can help. Is this helpful?
Yes.
Number 2, under this is called discipline and what? Come on, 1 hour. This is a class, so I need your energy. One more time.
Discipline and consistency.
Discipline and consistency. So one of the things I share in this book, billionaires are very disciplined and consistent. Right? Forget what you see. Because what you see versus who they are two different things. Who Steve Akhtar is privately and who you see on social media are two different things. Right? Some of what he puts on social media are needed for his business. For example, people, he lives in Burj Khalifa, he lives in Banana Island, he drives Rolls Royce. Yeah, but who will want to invest with him if they are not sure that he's also wealthy? I'm not making sense at all. Yeah. But you don't be shocked if you see the same thing like that. Very simple, by personality, lifestyle. Same thing, my wife can take Okada and Uber. You'll be shocked she's my wife. Right? So, two different things. And I think it's where people miss it. Wealthy people needed to have certain things to help what they do. I was sharing with someone say, rich people waste money on private jets. I said, I don't understand what you're talking about. How much is a private jet? Average private jet with $2 million, you have one. Right? If you're a billionaire, your average transaction is between $50 million, right, to $100 million. Average single transaction.
hear me well. Somebody is to invest $50 million with you, one transaction, and you don't have a private jet to go and bring the person to come and see what you are doing. Who will they do more with? Someone who sent a private jet to go and pick them, to come and see maybe it's a factory you're building, maybe it's a refinery you're building. Am I making sense at all? But the one that didn't send private jet, who would they be more confident with?
The one that send the private jet.
But an outsider is looking at them, think they want to show off. Do you see how people can be so shallow? How will someone want to show off to you that they don't know? Right? They don't even know you. You don't even have a relationship. Right? And you are sitting down thinking someone is just trying to show off. Meanwhile, it's just their business requires certain things. I remember, Mr. Victor was the person who made me move to Burj Khalifa. And I remember how it helped my business in Dubai. Some people were not interested in buying properties from me in Dubai until I moved to Burj Khalifa, which was the tallest building in the world. So many of them came to visit me there. We had dinner at the tallest restaurant in Burj. After then, they started paying. Are we learning at all? Are we sure we're learning? Yes. So you must understand that for you to be financially successful, you must be disciplined with money. Money does not stay in the hands of those who are wasteful. However, that does not mean you should not invest money to help you to make more money. Are we learning to balance the two now? So there's a difference between me having to, for example, buy a private jet so that I can look, right, financially stable enough to those who want to invest with me. Are we together now? Versus me buying a private jet just to show off and be wasteful. Do we see the difference? Come on, talk to me. Do we see the difference? Yes. Two different things. So, very wealthy people, they are very prudent. You will be shocked to see a billionaire negotiate the suit he wants to buy. I read in Donald Trump's book. He said we go to shop and then he will start negotiating the suit. And many of them will be embarrassed. I say, wait, am I missing something? Are you not Donald Trump? He said, yeah. Do you know of Trump Tower? He said, yeah. He said, but I don't know what's going on. Why are you negotiating the suit? Right? Because people who don't have money near compared to what you have, just come here and they give us big tip. And they don't even check the prices. You own Trump Tower, you're negotiating. Billionaires are very disciplined. Sometimes I meet people and they'll be like, Dr. Cindy, can't you do it for me for free? Why are you charging? And my answer is that if I could do everything free, how will I be rich? Am I making sense? Sometimes we don't take our time to look at these things. How will somebody be rich if they do everything free? Many of you have great talents that you should have monetized. And yet you are complaining you don't have money to the tune you want to. Why are you not charging for that value? Right? How many of you are good at counseling people? People will call you and they will thank you for counseling. And you do it for free. And then you're wondering why you're poor. Right? 1 hour of my time as of today is $2,000 you pay. And people book. Right? My 6-1-1-1 coaching is $20,000. And people pay. It's not an issue. So that's why I'm rich. If I've been doing free consultation like I used to do those. Right? Free consultation I offered them. They didn't accept them. Right? Okay? But then I was sharpening my what? My skills. I was sharpening my skills. So then I charge for it. So you can't be rich if you are not disciplined with your time. I'll give you an example. Poor people make money once a month. Rich people either make money daily, or weekly, or per hour, or per second. How many of us make money every 2 weeks?
We are poor.
By the way, poverty is not an insult. You know, say you're a poor person. They're insulting me. It's not an insult. It's just a state. And real poverty is the one you don't want to have. It's mental. It's not about what's in your account. It's mental. Have you not seen people who can never believe in wealth? There's nothing you tell them it's all fake. Do you know people like that? Right? You tell them we can do this business. Well, I don't believe it. Tell me everything is the war.
Ritualist.
That's a real poor person. Because wealth is mental. Poverty is mental. And the fourth said, take everything I have, give me time, I will create it in you. Till today, I tell people, I laugh when people say, if you take everything Sinataya has, give him time. I know how I made it. I know what I did. And that's true wealth. So it's not what's in your account. It's a mental state. Poverty is a mental state. Wealth is a what? It's a mental state. Can you shout, I'm going to be disciplined?
I'm going to be disciplined.
I'm going to be a consistent investor.
I'm going to be a consistent investor.
Right? So powerful, a few more things shared in this book, but because of time, we move to the top book. Is this class helpful for those of you who have been here? And those of you who are late, we don't do African time. So let this be on record. Anytime I'm doing a training, I don't do African time. We start at exactly 11. Right? So for me, it's just a culture. And it's something I tell people as well. If you are really serious about being wealthy, you have to work on your timing. You can't be playing African time when you want to be rich. Right? There's no serious entrepreneur that will do big business with you when you come late for a meeting. I don't know if you agree with me. Huh? Do you agree? Yes. He won't do business with you. Right? And when you come to wealth, money is neutral. I hope you know. Money is not black or white or fair. I hope you know that. Money is neutral. Right? Money will work for anybody, irrespective of your culture. So the rules and the principles are the same. So the third book is called Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs. Here we talked about those. I don't know if you're entrepreneurs here. You own a business. Right? Few hands up. Some of us are not sure we're entrepreneurs. We're not sure we're entrepreneurs. A lot of us have 2 jobs we do. Those of you are IT. A lot of you have 2 IT jobs. It used to be, we used to shout fashion, right? Not same. We'll do extra hours. Now, the new version is 2 IT jobs, 3 IT jobs. So people who have 4 IT jobs. May God deliver us. Let me show you a formula so that you understand how real wealth, particularly, I don't want to say wealth, real one, not being okay. There's difference. There is hard work. Let's just say HW. Right? What's the highest you can make from hard work? Anybody help me? Highest money here in Glasgow. Hard work. You work hard. How much can you make? 75. Huh? 75K a year. Okay? That would be how much a month?
4 grand.
75,000. It's a year now. 75,000 pounds cannot be per month now.
So average of before tax 6,250.
6,000.
250 before tax.
6,250. So let's say averagely for you to be working really hard, you will make your first 100,000 pounds. Do we agree to that? Plus SW. What does it stand for? Smart wealth. Do we agree smart wealth can at least make you your first $1 million?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Or £1 million, huh? But don't be deceived. £1 million ain't gonna make you rich. You didn't hear that before. Wake up. at least from those of us who have touched such money. Right? I didn't become rich by being worth £1 million. I can assure you that. You'll be comfortable, yeah, hallelujah to that. You'll be able to buy your own house, hallelujah to that. But there's more to that. Right? Your kids are going to grow. Right? Like I said, even if college is free, there will still be other bills because you don't have teenagers. True of us. How many kids there's to talk? So 1 million, and that's why today, I hope some of us will live here by just stretching our dreams. Who knows what I'm talking about? But there's some of us that just feel, if I can just make £1 million, my life is over. Okay? Aha. Some of us make more than, our companies do turn over more than that a month. And we can still tell you, that will make you rich. So, next is, and I love this, I learned this late, and I don't want you to learn it late. That's why I'm teaching you this. And this is NW.
Networking.
Networking. You got it right. If you are going to be a billionaire, this is the formula. You must add hard work plus smart work plus network. Are we learning at all?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Somebody said, poor people go to work, rich people build network. What is work? But work is involved. Are we together now? Work is what? Work is involved. Why will I fly business class to come and greet a friend in Glasgow? Like I told you, I didn't come for you people with due respect. I came to visit a friend who then insisted I should do training for people. He just relocated here in Glasgow. Are we together now? So why would I do that? Because the network is ultimately the powerful formula to making your biz. It may be somebody I'll meet through him. It may be a business idea we'll think of together, which we've already started the conversation. But something will make me more wealthy by this visit because of quality network. So when we keep shouting about invest in quality network, we're not joking. Wealth is just have good network, and I can assure you poverty is over in your life. Just have wealthy friends, and you can't be poor again. Because you will solve their problem, they will pay you good money. They will solve your problem, and they will pay you what? Good money. Either way, the money now begin to move amongst you guys, and it is quality money. The biggest crime you want to have as a businessman, for those of you entrepreneurs, is to have poor customers.
Can I be your friend?
And I'll give you a very practical example. My clients would invest $200,000 with me one time, $1 million with me, $500,000 with me. Do not want anybody to hear. The ones who invest $10,000, they are even the ones that do you know Stephen Akintayo? Say, yeah, you know, I did some investment with him. You know, I got some of his properties. How much? $10,000. The one that do 1 million does not even want people to know. Are we learning at all?
Yes, sir.
So you will realize that being a billionaire simply means working hard, yeah. But at some point you move to what? Working smart. But at some point you look for how do you get wealthier people to work smart for? Oh, you don't get what I'm saying? Eh? The same job. Once you pass smart work, I can assure you there is no smarter work. There is just richer clients. Do you get what I'm talking about? Is this making sense to you? It's same work, but this time around to people who can pay you way more. People that solution is way, way bigger for them. It means a lot to them. Right? So, one more time, let's all read it. Want to go. To become a billionaire, come on, repeat after me.
To become a billionaire.
Hard work, plus smart work, plus network. Do those three things together, and I promise you, you're on your way to really building wealth. I missed this for a long time. I quickly got the smart work part, but I didn't get the network part on time. Right? I didn't understand why I need to go and play golf. Right? I felt it's better to be in the office and be cracking the code. Am I making sense at all?
Yes, sir.
Until I realized that 2 hours of golf will crack $2 million. Come on, I want to play golf. Okay? Because now I'm meeting people who are willing to pay me $2 million for something what somebody else will only pay $100,000 to do. We're learning?
Yep.
Come on, are we learning?
Yes.
So, as an entrepreneur, you must master what we call manage finances wisely. We call it financial acumen. Financial management is a critical aspect of running a business. So here we're talking about people whose business is currently doing over $1 million. And now you want to grow it to start doing $10 million or $100 million or $1 billion. First thing, I, for example, it took me years to realize, after at some point I realized we needed to have a finance department different from account department. Right? Because accounts only just count the money. The finance guys are the ones that can predict the income of the organization even 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So there's certain structure your business, for those of you entrepreneurs here, need to start taking when you are now serious about moving the business, the company you own, from just being able to do X amount of transactions to another level of transaction. Number 2 is leadership and what? Team building. I need you to know that big companies are not big just because of assets. They are big because of human resources. How many of you saw what happened to Twitter? In a matter of few weeks of Elon Musk sacking a lot of Twitter guys, Mark Zuckerberg launched his own version of Twitter. Who remember that? Mm-hmm. So is Twitter really the beauty or the manpower? And this always happens to many of us who started as professionals, right? We find it difficult to invest in human resources when we start our own business. I remember one of my friends used to work in a bank, and anytime he sees me, he just tells me how he admires me. I can't wait to resign. This bank is just using me. Oh, and I say all of you have those conversations. They're just using me. Just using me. I can't wait to run my business, work for myself. And I remember I kept telling him, it's not easy as, it's not as it looks online. This thing is not easy to run your own business. Now his bank decided to say, if you're over 40, you can retire voluntarily. They will give you, I think, maybe 10 million and then. This was some years ago. He was so happy, jumped, resigned. And then he came to me for consultation. And that's why, again, I no longer do free consultations. Because when friends, you consult for them, they will not value it. Because it was my friend, I didn't charge him. I said, number 1, get a PA that can write business proposals, that can pick calls for you on your behalf. Right? You are now a business owner. It's not one-man business. Right? You have to start with a team. But at least the most critical of your team is somebody that can write good proposal and pick calls. Get that person immediately. 3 months later, we met. Alpha, have you gotten the person? He said, don't mind all these young people. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. The one I saw, I told her I'll pay her 25,000 and she said she wanted 35,000. You were earning over 500,000 from your bank. And you said they were using you. And you cannot pay somebody else 35,000. Are we learning here? Because you see, it's easy when we are on the other side of the table, right? To say, my employer, don't mind them, they're just using me. Right here in Scotland, they just use you. Well, the day you now own your company, you're not ready to pay anybody. So you must know that the real work is the team. The real asset of a great organization is the team. Why am I now able to do networking? Because I now have a group CEO who is not even an African, right? And in fact, when he started, he has 10 times of my own salary. I founded the company. It's an investment banker, over 20-something years experience, way older than I do. That's why he wanted to collect. I had to pay. Do you know what it means to own a company? And the person you employ, his salary is 10 times yours every month, and you are the one to approve the payment. That's how to take your business to doing millions in transactions. It's a whole lot of different mental game. Are we together now?
Yes.
But what has that done for me? Now he can busy doing the what? The smart work. I can be busy begin to what? Do the network. And even do bigger stuff. So many of us don't even know when our company, we need to begin to take a back seat and bring in professionals who can even take the business mentally up, and we just begin to bring clients for them using our name. I have over 2 million followers across social media. What I do for my company now is that they should be paying me for, they should sign me, as influencer. Don't mind them. They just sign Kanayo. Kanayo are even doing US tour next month. They sign Zaki Aziz, they sign Latif, the actor, and they refuse to sign me. Who wants to be my lawyer? I want to sue my company. Meanwhile, I bring more clients for them than all those celebrities that are. Okay? But that's really how you move your organization to the next level. Is this making sense at all? You have to be a great leader. We had a new CSO, was it last year or early this year? And there was this leadership conference we had taken our senior management to in Abuja. So I was to return with a private jet. And they said the capacity was 8 people. So well, some of our leaders are here, let them join us. And the CSO too joined. And I remember as we were about landing Lagos from Abuja, the man was close to tears. He said, I worked in the Nigerian police for 35 years. The Nigerian police has a private jet, his own plane, and has a helicopter. I said, I've never even seen it. Talk less of entry. I joined your company in less than 2 weeks. I'm flying a private jet. I said, thank you, sir. Right? Few months later, he was helping us over a case of $1 million that somebody tried to scam us of. And the lawyer of that person was to bribe him. He recorded everything and told him, he said, you don't know life. Everything is not money. Everything is not money. What if we didn't treat him right? What if we didn't treat him right? We'll have been the first one to even sell us out. And he was on top of the case, because he was the CSO who needed to prosecute the issue. So, to build a big organization, it's about the people. It's about the people. It's not just about buildings and how much are we making. It's about investing in people, raising an amazing team to grow the company to the next level. I don't care what you think about rich people, but let me tell you one fact. You can be a billionaire running your business from your room. I'm yet to see one billionaire that does not have at least 200 employees. You don't get to that rank of billions without it being about people. Does it make sense at all? Because ultimately, that volume of transaction you are doing is accumulation of OPT and OPM, other people's time. People coming in, believing in your vision, and putting in their time. I was watching our 3 of our management staff being interviewed on Arise TV yesterday, and I was close to tears. That, do you mean 16 years? And they were even asking them, said, what has been the most remarkable moment you working in this company? You know, and I was really moved. Everyone, including those who are blacks and those who are not even black, said, I saw Dr. Stephen's vision and I felt this is something that will change the world, and I'm proud to be part of it. So, to build a great organization that will do transaction in billions of dollars and whatever currency you spend, you must think leadership. Everybody shout leadership. Leadership. Come on, shout leadership. Leadership. Okay? Are we ready? Is this helpful, by the way? I'd love to get feedback. Is this helpful?
Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes. Very helpful.
Okay? The next is called Becoming a Billionaire Land Banker, and this is about how I started my business in what we call land banking. Can anybody tell us the definition of land banking?
Buying land in a place that is not developed and waiting for it to be developed.
Please clap for her. Okay. The excitement she used to describe it. Land banker. It's a land banker. Okay. So, land banking basically is the process of land aggregation for the purpose of development or investment. Basically, like she said, you're buying land in places that will become developed into the future. And the good news with places like Scotland, UK, US is that the city has a map of where they are going. Right? They plan into the future. So land banking is a lot easier in this part of the world than even back in Africa. Because from the city you can know, oh, this is where movement is going, this is where development is going, this is what they're doing, these are the things that are coming to the future that will even grow the value. Right now, I was watching on TV that Taylor Swift coming to Edinburgh, right, alone is going to add, was it 60 million pounds or something? I can't remember the exact figure, into Scotland economy. Yeah? Can you believe that? Right? But land banking here is for you to look into the future. How many of you have been here, at least in the UK, the last 10 years? Can I see your name? 10 years. 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. More than 10 years. 10 years and above. A good number of us. Do you agree with me that if some of us have learned about land banking and started investing in certain lands, right, may not even be here in the UK, maybe in the US if UK doesn't work for you, right? It may be in Dubai or somewhere else. But do you agree with me that in 10 years, none of you will have had land less than £1 million in value? That is, you kept doing it small, not even something too elaborate, right? You just, move to areas that